One morning, you wake up more tired than when you went to bed. Your belt is tighter, your blood pressure is creeping up, and your last lab test showed high sugar and triglycerides. The doctor called it metabolic syndrome and warned of future disease. Yet, inside, you feel something quieter, a fear that you are slowly losing yourself. This is where good energy begins. Not with blame, but with a question. What if your cells are simply starving for the right kind of energy? Metabolic syndrome sounds technical, but it is simply the body's alarm system. Elevated waist size, high blood sugar, abnormal lipids, raised blood pressure. These are like flashing red lights on your dashboard. In Good Energy, the authors show that these are not random problems. They are signs that your metabolic engine is running on the wrong fuel, too fast and too often. Today, we will learn how to listen to those alarms and how to gently turn them off. If you have metabolic syndrome, you may have been told to just eat less and move more, as if willpower alone could overcome biochemical chaos. Good Energy reveals a harder truth. Our modern food environment, chronic stress, and constant screens have quietly rewired our metabolism. Yet within that truth is immense power. You are not weak. Your biology is simply responding to its surroundings. Change the surroundings and your body can begin to heal, often more quickly than you imagine. Metabolism is not just burning calories. It is the conversation between every cell in your body and the world around you. Imagine trillions of tiny fireplaces inside you, deciding whether to burn clean logs or damp, smoky wood. With clean fuel, the fire is bright and steady. With the wrong fuel, smoke chokes the system, and alarms go off as high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and inflammation. Good Energy invites us to choose clean fuel, not by perfection, but by daily gentle shifts. The most hopeful message in Good Energy is this: metabolic syndrome is not a life sentence. Cells are astonishingly adaptable. Within days of changing how we eat, move, sleep, and breathe, our metabolic signals can begin to shift. Within weeks and months, waistlines, lab numbers, and daily energy often follow. This video is your map. We will walk through the science, but also the feelings, the frustration, the cravings, the small victories. Stay to the end. Your next decision could be the turning point. Think about the last week. Did you need coffee to get started, sugar to keep going, and TV to unwind? Many people with metabolic syndrome normalize constant exhaustion, but fatigue is not laziness. It is a scientific signal. When cells cannot use insulin properly, glucose stays in the blood instead of entering cells for fuel. The result feels like living with your phone permanently stuck on low battery. You look fine from the outside, but inside every system is dimmed. Clinically, metabolic syndrome is defined by 5 red flags: a large waist circumference, high fasting blood sugar, high triglycerides, low HDL, and elevated blood pressure. Having 3 or more dramatically raises your risk for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Yet each number on a lab report is also a story of meals, stress, sleep, and movement. Good Energy helps us read these numbers not as a verdict, but as a language our body uses to ask for help. Behind metabolic syndrome lies a quiet fire: chronic, low-grade inflammation. Instead of a short, helpful flare when you cut your finger, this fire smolders daily in blood vessels, fat tissue, and organs. Ultra-processed foods, poor sleep, and stress feed this fire. In Good Energy, inflammation is described like a constant background noise, preventing your cells from communicating clearly. When we reduce that noise, blood vessels relax, insulin can work, and your body can finally exhale. Imagine a 48-year-old parent, always too busy to think about health. At a routine visit, the doctor lists the findings: bigger waist, high blood pressure, fasting glucose in the pre-diabetic range, triglycerides soaring, metabolic syndrome. On the drive home, memories flash: late-night emails, grabbed pastries, skipped walks with the kids. Yet instead of despair, a strange clarity appears. These numbers are not an ending, but a mirror, and like any mirror, they can guide you to change direction. Good Energy describes metabolism as a matrix woven from 4 daily threads: what we eat, how we move, how we sleep, and how we respond to stress. If even one thread frays, the whole metabolic fabric weakens. But this also means we have 4 powerful levers. Small shifts in anyone: an earlier bedtime, fewer sugary drinks, a short walk after meals, a breathing break, begin to tighten the weave. For metabolic syndrome, we do not need perfection. We need consistent, kind adjustments. In metabolic syndrome, the way we think about food must shift. Food is not just fuel to keep you from feeling hungry, it is information whispering to your genes, hormones, and gut microbes. A sugary drink shouts, "Store fat, spike insulin," while fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats calmly say, "Burn steadily, repair, reduce inflammation." Good energy teaches that each bite is like sending an email to your cells. The question becomes, what message do you want to send today? For many with metabolic syndrome, every day is a blood sugar roller coaster. Refined carbs, white bread, pastries, sweet drinks flood the bloodstream with glucose. Insulin surges to clear it, sometimes overshooting, leaving you shaky, hungry, and craving more. The cycle repeats, exhausting your pancreas and deepening insulin resistance. Good energy encourages us to step off this ride by choosing foods that keep blood sugar gentle and level, so your energy can be calm instead of chaotic. Technical terms can feel overwhelming, but one simple concept from good energy is glycemic load: how quickly and how much a food raises your blood sugar. Instead of counting every gram, we can use simple swaps. Replace white rice with cauliflower rice or quinoa, juice with whole fruit, sugary cereals with eggs or yogurt. Lower glycemic load meals mean softer blood sugar curves, less strain on insulin, and over time, a quieter metabolic storm. Many people with metabolic syndrome feel confused. I don't eat that much dessert. Why are my sugars high? The answer often lies in hidden sugars: flavored yogurts, sauces, breads, even so-called health bars. Good energy encourages curiosity, reading labels, noticing how many different names sugar can have, from high fructose corn syrup to maltodextrin. Each hidden teaspoon is a small push toward insulin resistance. Each teaspoon you avoid is a quiet gift to your future self. In good energy, 2 nutrients stand out for stabilizing metabolism: protein and fiber. Protein helps preserve muscle, which acts like a sponge for glucose, while fiber slows digestion, blunting blood sugar spikes, and feeding healthy gut bacteria. For someone with metabolic syndrome, starting meals with protein and fiber is like putting an anchor down before a storm. Cravings lessen, energy smooths, and overeating becomes less likely, not because you forced it, but because your biology feels satisfied. For years, many were told to fear fat, but good energy explains that the type of fat matters more than the amount. Trans fats and excess seed oils in ultra-processed foods worsen inflammation and insulin resistance. In contrast, fats from olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fish support cell membranes and steady energy. For metabolic syndrome, adding a drizzle of olive oil or a handful of nuts can turn a blood sugar spiking meal into one that digests more calmly. Ultra-processed foods are not just junk food, they are engineered products, often combining sugar, refined flour, unhealthy fats, and salt to hijack our brain's reward circuits. Good energy describes them as metabolic traps: easy to overeat, hard to stop, and devastating for insulin and blood lipids. For metabolic syndrome, reducing these foods is like closing small leaks in a sinking boat. Each packaged snack or fast food meal you replace with real food helps your body bail out and stabilize. One barrier for many with metabolic syndrome is decision fatigue. What am I supposed to eat? Good energy suggests embracing simple, repeatable meals, what the authors call a personal metabolic toolkit. Maybe it is a veggie omelet for breakfast, a salad with protein for lunch, and roasted vegetables with fish or beans for dinner. By repeating supportive meals most days, you create an autopilot that protects your metabolism, freeing your willpower for other battles. Beyond what you eat, good energy explores when you eat. Many with metabolic syndrome snack from early morning until late at night, keeping insulin elevated. Shortening the eating window, such as eating within 10-12 hours and avoiding late-night snacks, can give insulin a chance to fall and cells time to repair. This is not about extreme fasting, but about respecting your body's rhythms. Before making any major changes, especially if you use medications, please consult your physician. Picture one full day inspired by good energy. You wake and drink water, maybe with a squeeze of lemon. Breakfast, eggs with spinach and tomatoes. Lunch, leftovers, roasted vegetables and chicken with olive oil. Afternoon, nuts and a piece of whole fruit. Dinner, bean and vegetable stew with a side salad. No perfection, just real food most of the time. This day will not cure metabolic syndrome alone, but repeated, it becomes the quiet revolution that your lab tests will slowly reveal. After food, good energy turns to movement, not as punishment, but as medicine. For metabolic syndrome, movement acts like a key, unlocking cells so they can take in glucose without needing as much insulin. Even 5 to 10 minutes of walking after meals can significantly blunt blood sugar spikes. Think of each step as a tiny dose of medicine you prescribe yourself, with almost no side effects beyond better mood and deeper sleep. Many with metabolic syndrome feel intimidated by gyms or long workouts. Good energy reassures us. The body responds even to small, scattered efforts. Standing up every 30-60 minutes, taking the stairs, stretching during TV commercials, all of these lower the time you spend sitting, which is itself a risk factor. Movement can be sprinkled through your day like seasoning, turning ordinary moments into quiet metabolic upgrades. In Good Energy, muscle is described as a metabolic bank account. The more lean muscle you have, the more glucose you can store safely instead of leaving it circulating in the blood. Simple strength exercises, bodyweight squats, wall push-ups, resistance bands, done a few times a week can slowly build this reserve. For someone with metabolic syndrome, each extra bit of muscle is like adding another safe storage room for sugar, easing the load on insulin. It is easy to watch fitness videos and feel shame, but Good Energy invites a different approach. Start where your body is today. If walking around the block leaves you winded, that walk is your heroic act. If standing to stretch feels hard, that is your starting line. For metabolic syndrome, pushing too hard, too fast can backfire. Gentle, regular movement that respects joint pain, heart health, and current fitness is far more sustainable. Always discuss new exercise plans with your healthcare provider. Among all the tips in Good Energy, one is remarkably simple and powerful for metabolic syndrome: a short walk after meals. When your leg muscles contract soon after eating, they pull glucose from the blood like a sponge, lowering the spike in the insulin needed. 10 minutes around your home, office, or block may feel almost too easy, but repeated 3 times a day, this habit can gently reshape your blood sugar curves. Even if you exercise for 30 minutes, sitting for the remaining day can still harm metabolism. Good Energy highlights that long sitting episodes reduce the activity of enzymes that help process fats and sugars. Think of your chair like a pause button on your metabolic machinery. By breaking up sitting with brief standing or walking breaks every hour, you keep that machinery humming, especially important for those with metabolic syndrome. To sustain change, Good Energy recommends choosing movement that you do not dread. Dancing in your living room, gardening, playing with a pet, light cycling. Joyful motion sends a different signal than forced workouts. For metabolic syndrome, stress hormones already run high. Adding more stress around exercise can backfire. When you move in ways that feel playful or meaningful, your nervous system relaxes and your metabolism receives a double gift: motion and calm. Many people with metabolic syndrome underestimate sleep. Good Energy shows that short or fragmented sleep can raise hunger hormones, worsen insulin resistance, and keep blood pressure high. Think of sleep as your nightly reset button. When you sleep deeply, your brain takes out the metabolic trash and hormones rebalance. Without it, even the best diet and exercise struggle. Caring for sleep is not a luxury, it is central metabolic therapy. Good Energy offers a simple sleep blueprint for better metabolism. Finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, dim lights in the evening, avoid caffeine late in the day, keep your room cool and dark, and create a winding down ritual. For metabolic syndrome, These steps lower nighttime insulin, calm the nervous system, and support fat burning instead of fat storing while you sleep. If you struggle with insomnia or sleep apnea, please consult a physician for personalized guidance. Late night screens do more than steal sleep. They also confuse your metabolic clock. Blue light from phones and TVs tells your brain it is daytime, suppressing melatonin and worsening insulin sensitivity. Good energy likens it to leaving the factory lights on all night. Workers never rest, and errors pile up. For metabolic syndrome, setting a digital sunset 1 hour before bed can gently nudge your hormones back into their natural rhythm. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol and adrenaline, hormones designed for short emergencies. In metabolic syndrome, these hormones run almost constantly, raising blood sugar and blood pressure and pushing the body to store fat around the belly. Good energy emphasizes that stress is not just a feeling, it is a biochemical state. To quiet metabolic syndrome, we must also quiet the inner alarm that never seems to turn off. It may sound too simple, but good energy highlights how a single deliberate deep breath can begin to shift your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. For someone with metabolic syndrome, whose body is often stuck in high alert, practicing slow breathing, like inhaling for 4 counts, exhaling for 6, before meals, during cravings, or at bedtime, gently reduces stress hormones. Over time, these micro moments accumulate into meaningful metabolic relief. Many with metabolic syndrome know the scene. A hard day, a wave of emotion, and suddenly a bag of chips or sweets is empty. Good energy treats this not as a moral failure, but as a predictable brain pattern. Stress dampens the prefrontal cortex, the rational part, and amplifies reward circuits that seek quick comfort from sugar and fat. Recognizing this pattern with compassion is the first step. By pausing, breathing, or choosing a supportive snack, you gently reclaim metabolic control. Instead of waiting for a vacation to relax, good energy suggests micro restorations, tiny practices that calm the nervous system during ordinary days. A 2-minute stretch, stepping into sunlight, a short walk, a cup of tea without your phone, writing down 3 things you are grateful for. For metabolic syndrome, these small pauses can gradually lower background stress, making it easier for insulin, blood pressure, and hunger hormones to rebalance. Human connection is rarely mentioned in lab reports, yet good energy emphasizes that supportive relationships profoundly affect metabolism. Loneliness and chronic conflict raise stress hormones, while feeling seen and supported lowers them. Sharing walks, cooking together, or simply talking with someone you trust can transform metabolic syndrome from a solitary burden into a shared journey, lightening both emotional and physiological load. Good energy draws a powerful link. Metabolic health is mental health. Insulin resistance and inflammation affect brain circuits tied to mood, focus, and motivation. Many with metabolic syndrome experience brain fog, low mood, or anxiety and blame themselves. But the brain is part of the body, and it too depends on stable blood sugar and calm inflammation. As you nourish your cells, you may notice not only smaller waistlines, but clearer mornings and more hopeful thoughts. Many with metabolic syndrome avoid lab tests out of fear. Good energy encourages a shift from fear to curiosity. Numbers like fasting glucose, A1C, triglycerides, HDL, and waist measurement become feedback, not judgment. Each small improvement, 5 points down, 1 centimeter less, is a quiet celebration. By tracking trends over months, you can literally watch your choices reshape your internal landscape. Always review and interpret these tests with your physician or healthcare team. In good energy, continuous glucose monitors, small sensors that track blood sugar in real time, are described as powerful teachers. For people with metabolic syndrome and under proper medical supervision, they can reveal how different foods, sleep patterns, and stressors affect your blood sugar. A supposedly healthy smoothie might spike you, while a balanced meal keeps you stable. This feedback can transform vague advice into personalized understanding. Use such devices only in consultation with your healthcare provider. People using real-time glucose tracking often discover surprising patterns touted in good energy. A bad night's sleep or a stressful meeting can spike blood sugar as much as a dessert. For metabolic syndrome, this reveals an important truth. You are not only what you eat, you are also how you sleep, move, and feel. Understanding these hidden triggers turns random bad days into understandable patterns, giving you more compassion and more precise levers to pull. Good energy values data but warns against obsession. For someone with metabolic syndrome, checking blood sugar, weight, or steps can either empower or overwhelm. The key is using tracking as a compass, not a whip. Set gentle rhythms, perhaps weighing weekly, reviewing labs every few months, or glancing at sleep duration. If tracking increases anxiety or disordered behavior, scale back and focus on how you feel, energy, mood, clothes, while working with a healthcare professional for guidance. Many viewers with metabolic syndrome take medications, blood pressure drugs, statins, metformin, or others. Good energy does not ask you to abandon them. Instead, it frames lifestyle changes as partners to medicine. As your metabolism improves, some doses may eventually be adjusted, but that decision belongs only to you and your physician. Think of food, movement, sleep, and stress care as the daily groundwork that makes your medications more effective and your future more flexible. Consider again our 48-year-old parent. 6 months after their wake-up call, inspired by the principles in good energy, mornings look different. They drink water first, walk after breakfast, bring a salad and protein for lunch, and switch late-night emails for reading. The scale has moved modestly, but their labs show bigger news. Lower fasting glucose, lower triglycerides, improved blood pressure. They still have hard days, but now each choice feels like a vote for a longer life with their children. No one follows a perfect plan. Good energy is honest about setbacks, holiday feasts, stressful weeks, illnesses. For someone with metabolic syndrome, old patterns may resurface. The difference now is perspective. A few days of poor choices do not erase months of care. Instead of abandoning your efforts, you can ask, what threw me off? What small step can I restart today? Health is not a straight line. It is a spiral, and even when you circle back, you are often higher than before. From the many strategies and good energy, your task is not to adopt all at once, but to assemble a small set of daily rituals that fit your life. Perhaps a glass of water on waking, a protein-rich breakfast, a 10-minute post-meal walk, a 5-minute breathing break, and a consistent bedtime. For metabolic syndrome, consistency beats intensity. These rituals become like the sturdy frame of a house, holding you steady when life's storms pass through. Willpower is fragile. Environment is powerful. Good energy suggests designing spaces that make the healthy choice the easy choice. For metabolic syndrome, this might mean keeping sugary foods out of the house, placing walking shoes by the door, setting phone alarms for movement breaks, or prepping vegetables in advance. By arranging your kitchen, bedroom, and workspace thoughtfully, you reduce friction and turn long-term change into something that feels almost automatic. Living with metabolic syndrome can feel shaming in some medical settings. Good energy urges you to seek healthcare professionals who listen, explain, and collaborate. Ask questions. What do my results mean? What lifestyle changes matter most for me? How will we track progress? When you find clinicians who see you as a whole person, not just numbers, you gain allies in your quest for good energy. If you feel dismissed, it is reasonable to seek a second opinion. While lifestyle changes are powerful, good energy is clear. Some metabolic symptoms require prompt medical attention. Sudden chest pain, severe shortness of breath, weakness on one side of the body, sudden vision changes or confusion can signal heart attack or stroke. Very high blood sugar, with nausea, vomiting, or extreme thirst, may indicate a serious emergency. If you experience these, seek immediate care. Ongoing plans for diet and exercise should always be tailored with your physician. Metabolic syndrome can quietly shape your identity. I am unhealthy. I am broken. Good energy invites a different story. I am healing. When you choose a supportive meal, take a walk, or go to bed on time, you are not just following rules, you are embodying a new identity, someone who cares for their cells. Over time, this identity becomes self-sustaining. You begin to think, what would a person with good energy do? And act accordingly, even on hard days. Inspired by good energy, imagine the next 24 hours as an experiment. Choose just 3 actions, maybe a protein-rich, low-sugar breakfast, a 10-minute walk after your largest meal, and turning off screens 30 minutes before bed. Notice how your body responds, even slightly. Less afternoon crash? Easier to fall asleep? These small shifts are not trivial. They are the first bricks in a new metabolic foundation. If you are unsure what is safe for you, please consult your physician before making changes. Metabolic syndrome is not who you are. It is a description of where your metabolism stands today. The message of good energy is deeply hopeful. Your cells are listening. With every meal, walk, breath, and night of sleep, you are sending them instructions to heal. As you leave this video, choose one small action you will take today. And if this journey spoke to you, please subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs hope. Together, step by step, we can reclaim our good energy.